What's going on, swimming fans? In this video, I'm doing a full freestyle technique analysis on my own stroke. I have a few different angles, both above and below the water. I'm gonna commentate on what I'm doing really well, some areas that I can improve, and I'm gonna do this at various speeds and share with you guys what you can take away from it. So let's go ahead and start with an overwater, semi-underwater shot. Right from the side, it's really important to keep my eyes down. I can do a much better job of that. I'm actually gonna pause it right here on the breath because I think it's so important just to see how I'm breathing. I think I'm doing a pretty good job keeping one eye below the water and one eye above the water. Breathing is one of the most difficult pieces of this, and at the end of the video, when we're going at full speed, all the way down to 55 pace per 100, there's gonna be no breathing. So when we're going slower, it's a lot easier to break it down. We're in super slow motion here, and you can see my one arm is extended. If I get out of the frame a little bit, you can see right over there that my arm is extended, and you're trying to maintain your stroke length as you're swimming in freestyle. Long axis strokes, freestyle and backstroke, maintain that stroke length. My fingers are a little bit too loose, actually. I'd prefer if my fingertips were just a little bit closer together. You wanna have your hands sort of in like a relaxed state, but my fingers are too far apart. You can see right there. And there's the side breath. This is about 1/8 speed, about 15% speed right here. I can keep my eyes down. Now this is a view, sort of quarter eagle shot from the front, and I'm doing a pretty good job getting my fingertips right in front of my shoulders, getting full extension on the rotation, breathing to the side, and we'll go into the flip turn here. We'll see how I do on the turn, get a breath into the turn, get my flip. There's a nice streamline, one kind of pathetic dolphin kick, but really focused on the overwater freestyle stroke. Now this is a 25-meter pool, and I think I'm going about 38 seconds or 37 seconds on this, so that's maybe 34 seconds in a 25-yard pool. And let's go ahead and just count the strokes on this because we're really focusing on distance per stroke, so count them with me. There's 1, 2, we're counting over the water, 3, 4 strokes, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and it looks like 11 strokes into the turn. Distance per stroke is one of the most important metrics. You know, just counting your strokes is really important. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let me know how many you take down in the comments. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and 11 strokes. Let me know how many you guys are taking down below in the comments. This is a little bit more speed. I've got fins on. I believe I was about 28 seconds on this 50. So that's about 56 pace per 100. I do have fins on, but I'm pretty casual and I'm maintaining my stroke mechanics, good rotation. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 dolphin kicks off that, a lot less strokes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So a little bit more speed, a little bit more power. Now this is where we can really start to see the mechanics because it's a side view, my full body's in the frame. Now we're really gonna tear apart my stroke. I'm gonna really criticize some things here. This is super slow motion. I think the original speed I'm moving is about 130 pace. So for someone at my swimming level, it's actually really difficult to swim at a 130 pace because you sort of have this like natural speed. And for me, if I slow down that much, I actually start to sink because I'm not comfortable swimming at that speed. And so you can probably see it right here. You can see as I'm getting my breath, you can see like my body's kind of in, I'm making like a smiley face almost with my body. So my arm is extended and that's good. You can see it right there. That's my arm extended. But the problem is you can see my hips. My hips are really deep underneath the water and I'm making this like curve with my body. So that's why breathing is slow, it's necessary. But if you do it too much like this and you pause too long, it'll cause your legs to just sink in the water. And that's not any good. So in this video, I actually have 4 different speeds. We're gonna go from 130 pace, which is this. Now this is obviously way slower because it's in slow motion. So I'm moving slow and it's in slow motion. Then we're gonna go to about a 110, 115 pace. Then we're gonna go to a minute pace, and then we're gonna drop down to 55 pace. So that's under 50 seconds in a yard pool, and we're gonna start to see some differences in the mechanics. I think my legs are bending way too much. I'm actually gonna pause it and go back just a little bit so we can see what that looks like. So you can see on my kick, I'm bending my knees a little bit too much. So let's go ahead and see what happens on the kick. And this is like a 2-beat kick right there. That's no good. You can see how much I'm bending my knees. And that's not good because it's creating a lot of drag. You want to kick with your hips, and I need to do a better job maintaining my length and not really displacing as much water, and I can do a much better job keeping my legs relatively straight. Now, when I go a little bit faster, this is basically going to correct itself, but I still have a relatively big amplitude. I'm not a natural freestyle kicker. I don't have good flexibility. This is about 110 pace, so I'm starting to kick a little bit. It's kind of like a 4-beat kick right here, alternating between a 6-beat. Now, this is 110 pace in meters. It's definitely a lot faster, and you can see my head position. I need to do a better job just looking down. You don't need to look completely down at the bottom of the pool, but I can do a better job keeping my eyes towards the bottom rather than looking at the wall in front of me. The wall's not going anywhere, so I don't know what I'm looking at. I'm looking at my hands apparently. I can keep my fingertips a little bit higher in the water actually. It looks like I'm entering the water with my thumb. So you can see right here, it looks like I'm hitting the water like this. My thumb is probably too biased. You want to enter the water with your ring finger or middle finger, and that gives you the best position for the entry. It looks like my hand is kind of floating out to the side. We didn't see that above the water, which is fine, but I think I can do a much better job. You can still see the knee bend. It's probably too much knee bend here. And then there's a good, decent rotation. We start to lose the rotation as I get faster. So the next speed we're going, this is a minute pace right here. So I have a full 6-beat kick, a little bit of a pause on the breath actually. That's something I can correct. And this is in super slow motion of 1 minute pace. So I'm going about a minute pace. That's maybe 54 seconds in yards. And you can see the kick is really active right now. The amplitude is a little bit smaller on my legs, meaning the distance between the top of my kick and the bottom of my kick is a little bit smaller. That's because the tempo is a lot faster, and I'm not really using my kick as much of a crutch as I am when I'm going a lot slower, where it's really for balance. And then my elbow is starting to drop a little bit. So we didn't really talk too much about the early vertical forearm, but you can see here, when you start to go faster, your arm actually gets a little bit more straight. And some of the best swimmers in the world are able to maintain that EVF, early vertical forearm, at pretty much any speed. I don't really do that. This is at max speed, 55 seconds, and my arms are almost straight at this point. So really good swimmers can maintain, there it is again, at max speed. Head position's a little bit better here. I'm not really focused. I'm not breathing at all, actually. And yeah, so let's watch super speed in super slow motion. This is maximum speed that I can go, which is about 55 seconds per 100. I'm kind of dropping. I don't really have much of an early vertical forearm. You can see all the bubbles around my hands, actually. That's not good. So it's going to happen when you go faster and you enter the water with more intensity, more speed. But it's actually a lot better to be as gentle. I call it silent swimming. So if you're not silent swimming, you're creating all this resistance when your hand is just slapping into the water. That's why they call the 50 the splash and dash. I'm obviously creating a lot of resistance around my body. You can see all the bubbles going from my hands. Let's actually go back and watch that one more time. Full speed. There it is. This is full speed, 55 seconds per 100. And you can see higher tempo, head position's decent. And you can see all of the bubbles going from my fingertips all the way through my feet. You can really see it in slow motion. So let's watch it here in super slow motion. You can see the water droplets just kind of like, it's really cool. It's almost cinematic, but that's slow. So even though it looks really cool, it's actually not good. So it's going to happen, but I need to do a better job minimizing the amount of bubbles when I'm trying to go really fast. Definitely with your feet, it's going to happen. I can definitely point my toes a little bit better. But yeah, let me know what you guys think down below in the comments, how many strokes you guys are taking. If you enjoyed this video analysis, you're gonna love a video I did, how to swim faster in 90 seconds. So make sure you check out that video and I'll see you over there. Happy swimming.